Chapter 2. What is literature? What is language? Etc. Literature is language charged with meaning. Quote, great literature is simply language charged with meaning to the utmost possible degree. Ezra Pound in How to Read. But language, spoken or written? Spoken language is noise divided up into a system of grunts, hisses, etc. They call it, quote, articulate speech. Articulate means that it is zoned, and that a number of people are agreed on the categories. That is to say, we have a more or less approximate agreement about the different noises represented by A, B, C, D, etc. Written language, as I said in the opening chapter, can consist, as in Europe, etc., of signs representing these various noises. There is a more or less approximate agreement that groups of these noises or signs shall more or less correspond with some object, action, or condition. Cat, motion, pink. The other kind of language starts by being a picture of the cat, or of something moving, or being, or of a group of things which occur under certain circumstances, or which participate a common quality. Approach. It doesn't, in our contemporary world, so much matter where you begin the examination of a subject, so long as you keep on until you get round again to your starting point. As it were, you start on a sphere or a cube. You must keep on until you have seen it from all sides. Or if you think of your subject as a stool or table, you must keep on until it has 3 legs and will stand up, or 4 legs and won't tip over too easily. What is the use of language? Why study literature? Language was obviously created and is obviously used for communication. Quote, literature is news that stays news. These things are a matter of degree. Your communication can be more or less exact. The interest in a statement can be more or less durable. I cannot, for example, wear out my interest in the Tahio of Confucius or in the Homeric poems. It is very difficult to read the same detective story twice, or let us say only a very good tech will stand rereading after a very long interval, and because one has paid so little attention to it that one has almost completely forgotten it. The above are natural phenomena. They serve as measuring rods or instruments, for no two people are these measures identical. The critic who doesn't make a personal statement, in measurements he himself has made, is merely an unreliable critic. He is not a measurer, but a repeater of other men's results. Krino, to pick out for oneself, to choose. That's what the word means. No one would be foolish enough to ask me to pick out a horse or even an automobile for him. Pisanello painted horses so that one remembers the painting, and the Duke of Milan sent him to Bologna to buy horses. Why a similar kind of horse sense can't be applied in the study of literature is, and has always been, beyond my comprehension. Pisanello had to look at the horses. You would think that anyone wanting to know about poetry would do one of 2 things or both, i.e., look at or listen to it. He might even think about it. And if he wanted advice, he would go to someone who knew something about it. If you wanted to know something about an automobile, would you go to a man who had made one and driven it, or to a man who had merely heard about it? And of 2 men who had made automobiles, would you go to one who had made a good one, or one who had made a botch? Would you look at the actual car, or only at the specifications? In the case of poetry, there is, or seems to be, a good deal to be looked at, and there seem to be very few authentic specifications available. Dante says a canzone is a composition of words set to music. I don't know any better point to start from. Coleridge or De Quincey said that the quality of a, quote, great poet is everywhere present, and nowhere visible as a distinct excitement, or something of that sort. This would be a more dangerous starting point. It is probably true. Dante's statement is the better place to begin because it starts the reader or hearer from what he actually sees or hears instead of distracting his mind from that actuality to something which can only be approximately deduced or conjectured from the actuality, and for which the evidence can be nothing save the particular and limited extent of the actuality.